everyone, welcome back to Gunner Reviews. Once again, out in the tool shed. Today we were doing kind of it's been a couple months, but I had a really good solid like 2 or 3 weeks of use with this Max 18 gauge nailer. So this is kind of just a basic review. This isn't long term or anything like that, but I've got some thoughts on this gun, some really awesome pros, and then at least one con. So we're going to dive into it. This model number, though, you can see it right here, NF255SF2/18. I'll let you zoom in on that. So this is basically probably the top end model from Max Nailers. It is made in Japan. Very nice, high quality gun. And there's a lot to talk about, a lot of good things. You guys probably saw this originally. This is how this comes set up, though, from Max. Nice little case here. You get some safety goggles, which is always a good idea. Anything pneumatic, right? They come with this handy dandy little oil bottle. It's empty when you get it, but I got some decent oil, put some in here. It does on occasion leak just a little bit, but not too big of a deal, and it's actually kind of handy to have instead of most of the pneumatic oil bottles. I'm not sure why, but they're like pretty sizable, so it's not something that you always want to bring to the job site, especially when you're only putting in a few drops in a tool at a time. But that's nice, and for the most part it's really pretty handy. So here is the gun, though, in all of its awesome red Max glory. It is a great looking gun. It fits the hand really well. It is very the ergonomics on it are just really solid, lightweight. There's nothing that I would really complain about there in terms of just sheer ergonomics. The whole layout is really well done. I think the only complaint I would have from an ergonomic standpoint is, or maybe an operation standpoint, is the selector here. So rotated like that, that is basically locked. Trigger will not pull back, and it's nice and safe. And then to get it to fire, you're going to rotate it a full 180 degrees. Now your trigger works. You can fire nails. It's just a very long throw on the selector. You can kind of do it, at least I can kind of do it with my thumb, but it's a little hard for me to even reach and show on camera. But it's something I can kind of barely reach, but I have to adjust my grip, and it's not super feasible. But other than that, I mean, it is really safe, and it's nice that, you know, if it got mildly bumped, it's still going to be very safe. So maybe that was the idea, but I feel like maybe like a 90 degree or something would have been pretty reasonable as well. There is no sequential fire on here. This is just basically press the tip on, fire. It's a single fire per press. You're not going to be able to like bump it. It doesn't work like that, which I don't know if you would want to do with an 18 gauge nailer, because most of the time you're doing finish work, so you kind of want precision. And so that was a non-issue for me, but for some people maybe that's a concern. Belt clip here on the side, it worked really well. It does kind of push in, so it gets a little bit more flat with the tool. So you can kind of see there, it doesn't stick out too far. You can reverse it to the other side if you want to, I believe. I don't remember how that works, but I was happy with it just like that. You can push it out, use it, and worked great. No issues there. There's no real rotation there. It's in this position all the time. You can't change the direction it goes there. So that's like that. Let's see, you do get a kind of like a duster. So you can depress this button here, and it'll actually push air through the tool. You can kind of clean off work material if you need to, and it worked really good. I actually liked it. I would, when I would first get it hooked up to the compressor, I would kind of do that a few times and make sure my pressure levels were correct, and then make adjustments as I needed. So that was kind of a quick and easy way of doing it instead of trying to shoot material into a spare board or something like that. So that worked great. I really like the clear nail magazine here. It's very nice. You can kind of quickly see about how many nails you have left, and I think this will stop firing when you're down to 7. So if you want to be able to like spend a full magazine before this stops, this won't do it. It gets to 7 and it will stop firing. I know there's other guns out there that will run it down to 1 or 0, and they're, you know, a little bit different design. I actually think I would prefer that, to be able to run it down to 0, but it's not a deal breaker by any means. It just means I think when you get down to around 7, it's going to stop firing. So, but As far as loading it, very easy. Just depress that button. This will slide open. Track that back. Loading the nails. Oops. You don't want to do that. So make sure they're sitting flat in the gun. That's funny it did that. So, but smooth and easy. And I've never actually had that happen. I think it's because you're probably holding it up like that. So it worked really well. You have your depth set adjustment here. Really easy, no issues there. You can take this tip off and you can store it. Where was it? I think it's on this side of the gun. Maybe it's right there. Somewhere along the magazine. I don't recall where it is. I put it on and I've left it on just so you're not marring anything, but you can take that off and run it if you need to. So a lot of great things. This right here, this air connection point with like this, it's got multiple swivel points, so it'll just sit there and move really nice. It was phenomenal. It worked great, and it meant that the air hose wasn't always getting all twisted and stuff. You can kind of get this moving and get it free really quickly. Absolutely love that. It is very well designed, and I think I like this better than like the ball joint style. So that was great. Let's see what else. Not much else to talk about. We'll just kind of jump in. So just precision, nail hole quality, all of those things, phenomenal. This did great. I have no complaints there. It's very precise. It shoots well. It's easy to see where you're gonna end up shooting a nail. It fits into spaces extremely well. I didn't have any issues there. This kind of flattened top part here works really great. It's just a great tool from all those perspectives. The one issue I did have, and it may not be an issue with this specific gun, could be a nail issue, a fastener issue. So because this is made in Japan, it's all spec'd out with like millimeter size, right? So it'll go from 15 up to 55 millimeters, which roughly equates to 5/8 to, what are they saying? 2 3/16 inch, right? So you can't get full 2.5 or anything like that. You can go 2 3/16. But I think there might be a slight tolerance difference there. I'll just kind of show you what I mean. So you have all of your kind of like grooves, your landings here, and those are based on different size fasteners, right? Well, depending on how this works out, so you've got 15 starting off way down here, and they've got little markings here on the magazine. Depending on the millimeter and then the translation to inches, I don't think they're always quite exact. And what I mean by that is I was running a lot of like 2-inch fasteners in this, and it fit in about 98% of the time. No issues. I ran thousands of nails through it. Very few issues. I think I had 4 or 5 jams. No misfires, jams, and they all jammed exactly the same way. And I think it might just be a tolerance issue between imperial versus metric, right? If this gun is kind of really designed to run the metric system, these could be off very, very slightly when you're using an imperial, an inch fastener, and I think that may just throw it off. So I'll throw a picture in this video and show you exactly what was going on here with the jams. But basically, there was times I would reload it or add some more fasteners, and it would go up, and then one of the nail heads would actually get jammed in one of those grooves, and it would stop it from being able to push all the way up so that the pin could drive it. It was really quick, easy to fix. This doesn't have like a quick release system to clear jams. You do have to take a couple of Allen screws out, but the tool is on board. It's right here. They include the Allen key, fits right there. So that's handy, it's right there. It took me literally a minute and a half, 2 minutes tops. So once I did it the first time, you just take those 2 out, this whole top part comes up, you can push the nail out, screw those back down, you're off and running again. So no, it's not quick. It's not as quick as like the lever style, but it's very easy to do, and it's not super time consuming. And I don't know if I'm gonna fault the gun for those misfires. Again, it could totally be more or less an issue of, this is a made in Japan gun. It's based on the millimeter system. It's based on metric. I'm running imperial size fasteners,
and the tolerance there could be a little bit different, and it could be even just quality of the actual fastener. I think these were Hitachi or Metabo HPT fasteners, so I assume they're pretty good quality, but I did notice that like that's all I was using, so I had issues with that, and it did seem like I had a lot of like plastic buildup from these fasteners, and so I don't know if they're heavily, like when they get, I don't know if it's just like an overuse of the plastic to keep everything together or something, but that was the only other thing I noticed that was kind of interesting. And so again, 4 or 5 jams. I used it quite a bit over a few weeks. No other issues. I had no misfires. As long as it was feeding and I didn't have a jam, this thing shot beautifully, reliably, cleanly every time. So it may be just something, if you're in the US or you're using imperial sized fasteners, something to be aware of. And I don't know if it's really easy to get your hands in North America on like metric fasteners, but that might be something to explore if it becomes an issue. So I do think I might reach out to Metabo or Max, excuse me, and just ask them, hey, is it possible? I understand that it should work, that there's some level of universality there, but maybe there's a slight tolerance issue there, and maybe it's specific around the 2-inch fastener. That could be. I need to run maybe some other sizes and just kind of figure that out and see if there's an issue there. But thought I'd let you guys know it wasn't exactly flawless or perfect, but it was very close, and it's just such a nice tool to use that I don't mind a few jams. And again, it may be a fastener issue. So should probably play with some different brands and then see if it's even worth trying to possibly get some millimeter stuff in here. So, but that's my kind of quick review. Again, this is the Max, the model number so long, NF255SF2/18. You can kind of see it there. It's a great gun. It really is. The quality's there. You can tell this was made in Japan. They take their stuff very seriously. It's well made. It's well built. Other than that, there's not much else to say. I really like it. I'm happy with the purchase. I would purchase more things from Max, and I probably will reach out to them and ask them, hey, this is the issue I'm having. Maybe send them a picture. You guys can look at it too. Like I said, I'll make sure I put the picture up in the video, but you'll see it's just this little slight deviation there where it's pushing that head forward into the groove. It's causing it to not feed upward, and it kind of locks it up. So we will see, but otherwise, would I recommend this? Definitely would, especially if you don't mind the potential for a couple misfires, or not misfires, a couple jams here and there. But honestly, any of these tools, that can happen. Some are more prone to it than others, and in the grand scheme of things, I think for the precision and the cleanness of the holes after you fire a nail, it's probably worth it. I don't mind. I'm not gonna even consider returning this thing. So again, you guys let me know what you think. If you guys use Max nailers, maybe you guys got some insights, especially if they're built in Japan and they're kind of built on their metric model. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, any other suggestions for some cool pneumatic tools, specifically nailers? What do you guys run? I mean, there's so many of them out there, and there's so many great ones, but I was kind of drawn into the Max system. It's a good looking system, and so far I'm happy with it. But anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you guys in the next one.